Hi David, thanks for meeting us here at One Stop Golf, your second home. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
I was born in a little suburb of Wigan called Billinge, and lived there till I was 13, and then through my dad's job I got taken to Stoke-on-Trent, where I lived for 25 years, and then as always, why'd you move? I met a girl in Hull, and so I moved here permanently. It was about 14 months ago. So I'm now living in West Ella, which is a lovely place.
At what age did you start playing golf?
I think I was about 8, and it started just by my dad used to go on to just the field and just hit golf balls. So I used to just go with him when I was about 8 years old, and just used to have a club and just used to whack a golf ball, which became quite addictive. So what happened then was that me and my brother, he was doing the same, he was 3 years younger than me, we would then just go over to a school field, and we would just sort of go put sticks in the ground and then just sort of make up our own holes and just do that. And it's funny actually, my dad wouldn't actually let me on a golf course till I was 13, because you know, and although I was getting reasonably, you know, I could hit it okay, and I'd learnt a bit of etiquette about the game through what my dad had told me, he still wouldn't let me on a golf course. So it was actually when we moved from Wigan to Stoke, one of the ways of getting us to move was, right, the first thing I'll do is I'll join you at a golf club. Yeah. So sure enough, he was true to his word. As soon as we moved, he joined us at a golf club called Barlaston, and that's where it started really. I had a few lessons with a local pro, but I've always been pretty sort of natural with the golf, and yeah, I've just sort of tried to feel my own way around golf. I mean, some players do it that way, other players rely totally on a coach, and I'm just one of those players who plays a bit more naturally really.
Do you have any good advice for any young budding golfers out there?
Well, my advice would be to just, you know, just try and feel your way along as you go along. If you're sort of playing golf and you feel like you're struggling a little bit, then obviously there's plenty of PGA pros around who are there to give advice and to steer you in the right direction. And you know, some people need to go see pros more often than others, but if you can sort of fathom things out and sort of learn your own swing, which is how I've sort of done it, you know, I wouldn't worry too much about the fact that you're not seeking professional advice in that way. It's just a case of learning as you go along and be confident in what you're doing.
In 1995, you turned professional. How did you adjust to playing with the big boys?
It's something you just had to do. I mean, it actually brought your game on. I mean, basically you had to step up to the plate or you were just left behind, and I sort of noticed without doing anything that my game improved pretty quickly. And I also turned pro at the same time as a number of players, players like Padraig Harrington, for instance, who's gone on to have, he's won 3 majors. You know, we turned pro at exactly the same time. David Howell, who's played Ryder Cup. So there's a lot of us turned pro together, and we all went off at different paces. But it was just, again, a case of just trying to find your feet, and in order to improve, you know, you were playing with guys who were better than you were playing with guys who were many years older than you, had been out there and seasoned pros, so you were learning as you went round with them, which was obviously good to do. And so it was just a case of trying to find your way to improve, and like I said, it was either going seeking advice somewhere. I mean, at one point I worked with a psychologist for 4 years, which was something that I'd always had a little bit of a, you know, I wondered what that would be like. And you know, I ended up, there was a doctor of psychology who was out on the tour at the time, so I sought his advice and worked with him closely for 4 years, and I found that very beneficial. And the one thing I would say about psychology is it's a lot easier to digest and learn when you're younger, for it to actually work, than it is when you get older, because the older you are, the more set in your ways you've got, and you've learnt things, and it's hard to change that way.
Can you tell us, is there a huge gap between amateur and professional golfers?
Well, the one thing that is quite noticeable is they don't actually play as good as what you think as well.
Really?
Which is, you know, that's a bit of advice to some young up and coming golfers, is it's not all perfect. And what golf's about is, yeah, being able to hit it, and, you know, we all play well when we play, we'll, you know, shoot good scores when we play well, but it's how good you score when you play bad, which is what a lot of the top pros do. Right. I mean, I've played with some real top players who have played terrible and then walked off at the end of the day and they've still put together quite a nice number, right, which is key.
Yeah. Tell us about some of your personal highlights of being a professional golfer.
Yeah, the wins early on the Challenge Tour, which is the tour below the main tour. I won the Danish Open, which was it was quite a big event on the Challenge Tour at the time, which enabled me to finish high up enough to get my card to play in Europe the following year on the full tour. And then obviously 2004 winning the KLM Dutch Open, which was my first main win. And then recently, as in about 6 or 7 weeks ago, I mean, it took me 9 years to follow up my Dutch Open win with the Portuguese Masters. And obviously the Dutch Open was very special because it was my first, and it's funny because the Portuguese Masters felt like my first again because so long had passed. And they're all, things like that are always special for different reasons, and I could argue for all of them for different reasons, but given the career I've had, I think I should have probably won more than what I have. I think I've had 8 or 9 seconds, so I've been close quite a few times.
You were runner-up to Rory McIlroy. How did that change your career?
Yeah, obviously the USPGA, which is one of the 4 major events that they have during the calendar year with the golf. So it's a very special event, big event. It's the biggest that they have in the year. And to finish second was amazing. It was my first time playing in America. It was only the second time I'd actually played in a major. So yeah, it was a bit of a surprise, and given my build up to actually going there, I just bought a new house here, so I was doing a bit of grafting in the garden, and you know, it wasn't ideal preparation. But I turned up, and at the end of the day, Rory finished 8 shots ahead of me, so I really won the second event, you know. But it totally changed my career path in golf because it then enabled me a full exemption into America for the following season, and it also got me into all the big events the following year as well. It jumped me into the world's top 50 for the first time, which obviously gets you in the right events, and it sort of got me noticed a little bit. It was almost like an overnight success after 16 years.
What was it like to play at Augusta?
Yeah, that was totally amazing. Obviously with the runner-up at the USPGA, I did an interview literally as I'd just signed my card, and it was Tim Barter from Sky had said, you know, top 4 in a major gets you in the Masters, and I was just like, you're kidding me, because I just totally didn't know what was. So that was just like a dream come true, you know, because it's the one golf tournament that I really love watching on TV. I feel like I know the place, and so, you know, to finally get there, and sort of rented a house for the week, took all the family.
I understand your first sponsor ended up at Augusta. How did that come about?
This lad who I used to play golf with there, and as I progressed and started getting better, and I was looking like I was going to turn pro, he said to me, my dad's been asking what your plans are, and I said, well, I think I might do another year as a sort of top amateur and then turn pro. And he said, well, my dad's wondering if you need any help. And I was like, whoa, yeah. So very lucky to obviously meet Glyn Jones, and he looked after me for 6 years, which was absolutely pivotal in getting me to where I am now. So obviously, you know, your first Masters, who do you want to be there? And that's the people that have recognised you along the way and helped.
Tell us a little bit about Daft Wayne, your caddy.
Yeah, now my caddy is a Scouser. Wayne, Daft Wayne, as he's known on tour. Yeah, he has been known to come out. He has been known to come out with some belters. No, he's definitely my sense of humour, so we get on really well, which is very important. And you know, he's good at his job, and obviously having the nickname Daft Wayne, he keeps me entertained as well. So just to give you an idea why he got his nickname, this year he had an ulcer in one of his eyes, and this was when we were in America, so we had to go to an optician's, and then he had to go and get some eye drops, and without insurance in America it costs a fortune as well, so I think he's about £200 or £300 lighter for getting these eye drops. And he goes back and he starts putting the eye drops in the wrong eye.
And what's next for David Lynn?
Well, having just turned 40, where hopefully life begins, well, it would certainly appear that my golf life is beginning later on. Just keep going, playing in the events that I'm getting in. I'm back over to America again for a little bit next year, and then back to Europe towards the end of the year. It looks like I'm going to secure my second start in the Masters by that's picked off the top 50 at the end of this year. So 44th at the moment, not too many golf tournaments around now, so it should remain pretty stable, so that again would be an amazing thing to look forward to. And just to try and win some more golf tournaments, because the feeling when I won the Portuguese Masters again was pretty special and few and far between, and I would like to experience that again for sure.
Got everything you want to say?
Exactly, yeah.
You've got everything you said, anything you want to say?
Cut.